nerd.
I couldn't think how to start the video, so I figured I'd start it like that. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Tech. I am a content creator. My day job, I'm a full-time mental health coach, and this is a value video. And basically, I've been posting these on my Patreon for a while, but I wanted to post one publicly because there is a big announcement that I wanted to talk about that's kind of exciting. So basically, the idea of value videos is that they are me talking about my life basically, but then I try to take that and sort of like extrapolate out from it some value that applies to everybody. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is a sort of big announcement that is a big deal for anyone who is seeking to do any kind of creative endeavor, any kind of content creation, any really like build any kind of business, any kind of like entrepreneurial thing. I think that this applies to you. So Patreon is an amazing subscription platform where you can have people sign up to, like support you in some various amount. You can set like different tiers and stuff. And people will sign up to support you if they feel like you're providing value. And you can provide value back on your Patreon, which is what the value videos are for. And there's like, I don't know, like a dozen on the channel at this point, or on the Patreon at this point that people can go see. And so Patreon just announced that they are releasing a subscription system, which means that the way that it worked before on Patreon is that you would sign up for a patronage, and then on the first of every month you would get charged, regardless of when you signed up. So let's say you sign up on September 30th. On October 1st, you're going to get charged, which basically means you get like double charged. So they made it now so that it works much more like Twitch, where on Twitch you sign up on September 30th, and then every month on the 30th you would get charged for that subscription. And that's way better because now when like people don't have to worry about signing up like too late in the month. I don't have to like worry about like advertising my Patreon like too late in the month. Because this way, no matter when you sign up, it's always going to just be that time every month, which is heckin' awesome. So I just wanted to tell y'all about that. One, so that if you get value out of my content and you want to support me on Patreon, you can go do that, and I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. And if you are a creator and you don't already have a Patreon, I would highly, highly recommend it. Let's take Twitch just as an example. Twitch takes a 50% cut of all sub revenue, whereas Patreon takes like an 8 to 12% cut depending on what plan you're on. So if you like move your subscribers over to Patreon, you're saving like you're getting like 42% more than you would if they were subscribing on Twitch. And speaking of that, to anyone who is subscribed to me on Twitch, I would highly recommend canceling your subscription to Twitch and moving over to Patreon. And this isn't just about profit, because the truth is that like I'm kind of a hobbyist streamer at this point. Profit really doesn't do a whole lot for me. Like I don't really care about the profit of Tentacle Tech anymore. It's not something that I really look at. But I think that the larger piece of this is just sort of like supporting platforms that I believe in. Twitch is doing all sorts of things recently that are just really sort of like flushing it down the crapper. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little later on in this video. But there's just been all sorts of crap going on with Twitch lately. And so like, why support a platform that doesn't support its creators when you could support a platform that does seem to support its creators? And so that being said, if you are subscribed to me on Twitch, please like cancel your subscription and move it over to Patreon. You can do it for $5, $1. You can, if you're already a patron, you can take those $5 and go get yourself a Starbucks, or you can up your Patreon, whatever you want. But go over to Patreon. Go check out the Patreon. It's I post videos like this all the time. I think that they're really valuable, hopefully, and I hope you get something out of them too. So that being said, funny enough, starting this out with a little bit of a sellout, but now I want to talk about sort of like the hobbyist part of my transition in Tentacle Tech. So I have made the decision that I'm not really going to have an official schedule anymore with Tentacle Tech, just because, like I said, I am a bit of a hobbyist. And so ultimately, like, I'll still probably be streaming the same days. I might even stream more. I thought about streaming today because I got off work at like 3, and that's super early for me. So I was like, maybe I'll stream today. But then I decided to make this value video instead. And the reason that I've decided to do that is because I just have found that getting up early on weekends is not worth it for me anymore. I would much prefer to stay in bed with my wife and cuddle my wife and, you know, enjoy company with my wife and make breakfast for us and like enjoy our company together and then come on and stream. And it's basically the same exact thing. It's just that it's not like official, you know, like, and I think that I was really the only one holding myself to that standard, which I think is something that a lot of especially smaller content creators don't really think about, is that, you know, like they'll feel sort of like horribly guilty for canceling, but really like the only person that you're letting down is yourself. Like communities are gonna, first of all, a lot of communities are gonna understand. Second of all, a lot of communities aren't even gonna really think about it. They don't know your schedule. They just like press the go live, you know, they just press like, ooh, notification, I'll press it, and then they come to your stream. So I think that there's a lot of value in sort of like looking at what you are, you know, what you're holding yourself accountable for versus what you think your community is holding you accountable for. The next thing is, with Twitch going to shit, like there are just so many indications that Twitch is like failing as a platform. I have been thinking about multi-streaming to YouTube. Now, let me clarify, just so that everyone is aware. I'm a Twitch affiliate, okay? And when you are a Twitch affiliate, technically, you are not allowed to multi-stream to YouTube while you stream on Twitch. But it's like not enforced at all. Like I have never heard anyone else here about an affiliate actually getting banned for multi-streaming. Now, the only problem with that is, and the reason to multi-stream is because then, like, you know, people on YouTube can find me, and YouTube is a way huger platform, and I can start building my audience there in case Twitch just, you know, craps out. I think that would take a few years anyway, but still. The only problem with that is that I cannot find a free multi-streaming platform where I could stream to Twitch and YouTube. So if y'all know any free multi-streaming platforms, please let me know, because I would love to hear about it. So yeah, so I've been thinking about doing that, and then like if Twitch bans me, I'll be like, okay, darn, darn, Twitch banned me. Oh shucks. Hey, all of you that were subscribed to me over on Twitch, hey, why don't you go check out my Patreon, because it's better support anyway. So yeah, so okay, now sort of like transitioning from like technical tech, the sort of technical tech portion of the talk, to Ostara, which is my my business, my mental health coaching business that I run. And I do that full time for my day job. And Ostara has been doing very, very well. It's very exciting how well it's been doing. Like I think that it's really clear how much value is being provided through Ostara by the sort of like organic reaction that I am getting from it. Already, Ostara is outpacing Technical Tech in almost every way, and I've only had Ostara for like 6 months. And so I think that the value that you can sort of extract from that is this idea that when you are putting something out into the world, you can actually sort of organically judge its value based on the reaction that you get. If you are just like putting out content after content after content and it's just not getting a whole lot of reaction, then it's possible that it's not very valuable. And you might want to look at doing, if you're trying to build a business, you might want to look at something that provides more value. Now the thing is, like, I still do technical tech, and the reason that I still do technical tech is for me. Like it's like art for art's sake. Like I consider what I do with technical tech to sort of be my art, to be my expression, to be my fun, and so I just sort of do it for me. But I have been feeling lately, and I'm not quite sure how to express this, but I have been feeling like maybe there's some middle ground that I'm missing, in terms of that there are sort of like important things that I want to express, like namely with sort of normalizing sexuality, that I want to do in a way that is more significant than what Tentacle Tech is. Like I said, Tentacle Tech is just sort of for fun. It's just sort of art for art's sake. And with like, expressing like normalization of sexuality, that's something that I really would like to have more of a platform for. And even things like this, like I debated for a long time where exactly to put this because I wanted it to be public. I didn't want it to just be a value video on Patreon because I wanted everyone to be able to see it, especially because of the like subscription system thing. But like I didn't like the Tentacle Tech YouTube that I'm probably going to be posting this on is like pretty dead, and so I was like, well, like is that really worth it? And then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to put it there. So here we are. But anyway, so that was a bit of a rant. Getting back on track. One of the things that I have been um sort of yearning to do with Ostara is to sort of like learn from my previous mistakes with Tentacle Tech. And I think that my biggest mistake with streaming, like I've been streaming for almost 10 years now, and I still sit in like the single digits of viewers and still, like there aren't any other indications that the stream is performing well or that, the content is performing well. Other than the fact that like I have a good time when I like hang out with my community, which is like the new mindset that I've shifted to. But I in building a new business, I want to sort of learn from my previous mistakes. And I think that the biggest mistake that I made with Tentacle Tech is that I did not network enough. I think that all of the sort of like most successful creators that I see are people that are just like constantly doing things with other people. Now, Ostara is a little bit different because it is not strictly a content creation business. Like the end of the road is not content creation. The end of the road is like getting people to sit down with me in a mental health coaching session and like see me as like a regular client where I talk to them about their problems and help them work through stuff. And that part has been going very well. Like I see like 30 plus clients a week. I have like over 400 reviews and like a 99 out of 100% rating. Like that part is all going very well. But I would also like to, as I sort of continue to build up my own business, I would like to focus a little bit. I would like to learn from my previous mistakes in terms of growth. And so one of the things that I've been thinking about doing is just sort of like, how do I get my name out there more? How do I get my name in front of more eyes for Ostara? And one of the ways that was suggested to me that I think I will probably try out at some point soon is there's a site called, I think it's called Your Tango or something like that. And basically it's kind of like a blog site where it's all focused on, like healers, whether it's like therapists or coaches or, whatever. And it's just like snippets of, like blog entries of like, on relationships, on sexuality, on spirituality, on all sorts of things like that. And I think that I have valuable things to say in that space. And then like there's all sorts of other things that they provide you with, and including sort of like exposure. And so like I'm already like putting out a newsletter that I include a little blurb in each, like whenever I feel like sending it out, honestly, because I haven't been sending it out consistently, but you get the idea. And so I think I have things to say in that space, and I think it might be a good way to get in front of more eyes. So at some point I might just like dish out like, like $35 to like give that a shot and see what comes of it. Because I've been trying all sorts of like different forms of exposure with Ostara. So I've tried like advertising, and honestly, advertising didn't work super well for me. But recently I watched like a Devin Nash video where he talked about like that might just be because your landing page sucks. So like the idea with an advertisement is like it gets in front of so many eyes, it gets so many clicks from getting in front of so many eyes, and when it gets clicks, you can get people to sign up, but like you have to have a good landing page that is convincing, that makes people think like, oh, like this guy actually would be able to provide me value. This guy is actually like worth what I the sort of like risk of paying him money or whatever. And so it may be that I just need to build a better landing page, because my landing page right now is strong at all. Or it may be that there's, like a better method to go about it, especially because mental health coaching is a soft skill. Like, I think that value has to be shown that, like, this person, although I guess that's not true because people sign up for therapists all the time. I'm sort of thinking through this live right now. So, like, maybe if I can just get enough exposure, then the value doesn't need to be shown at all. Um, so anyway, I'm thinking of throwing like $35 and, like, some articles on Your Tango to, like, get in front of more eyes, and then seeing if that results in any more clients and things like that. And I think that the sort of idea, the general idea behind this is just sort of like, a lot of people, I think that entrepreneurs have like one brilliant idea and then they take off and explode. But in reality, from much smarter people that I've read, talked to, etc., entrepreneurs are actually just people that are willing to throw stuff at the wall and, like, repeatedly until eventually something sticks. And then once something sticks, it takes off and it's great. And then it looks like they were like an overnight success. But in reality, they were working on it for a long time. And then I also have been thinking about how I would love to make full-length YouTube videos for Ostara, because I really enjoy long-form content like this. The only trouble with long-form content is that in the current, like, meta, it is much harder, at least in my experience, it is much harder to get long form content out there successfully. Like, short form content is boosted by all of the platforms right now to just, like, boost you up the algorithm. And, like, even my short form content isn't, like, great comparatively, like, compared to a lot of content creators that can just sort of, like, build something like that and, like, take off overnight. But I really like long form content like this, and I think that it provides a lot of value. It's the kind of content that I enjoy watching. And so I would love to do that. But the problem is I have no idea how to do that on any kind of consistent basis. Because coming up with a long form content idea, something that I could talk about for like 8 to 12 minutes, like every week or something, seems daunting, seems like something that I would struggle with. I think that one thing that I might be able to do is I might be able to, like, search around on Reddit just for, like, things that people are struggling with, like go to r/advice or r/ relationship advice or whatever, and just pull things from that. And that's one idea, but I don't know. So I'm still thinking about that stuff, but I just wanted to sort of present it to y'all. And then the last thing is actually just sort of like a mental health tip, a mental health thing that I've been working on recently. So for the past, I don't know, like week or so, I've been feeling like a 4 out of 10, and normally my baseline is actually at about an 8 out of 10. I told Birdie that this morning and she was like, that's crazy. You are just, like, always sitting at an 8 out of 10. That's insane. That's amazing. But yeah, I usually sit like an 8 out of 10. And for the past week or so, I've been sitting at like a 4 out of 10. But one of the things that I noticed that was kind of nice was that I actually felt very okay with the fact that I was sitting at a 4 out of 10. I was like, yeah, I don't feel good. And, like, that was kind of it. I was like, yeah, I don't feel good, and that's fine. And I think that is easier said than done, but I think that it is a very powerful experience if you can have it, where if you can sort of, like, separate from your sadness, your depression, your whatever, and sort of, like, just sit next to it and just be like, yep, I feel like a 4 out of 10. That sucks. And then, like, you're like, all right, continuing on, I think that is actually very powerful and very sort of, like, liberating in a weird way. So anyway, that is my value video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's about 20 minutes. If you made it this far in the video, please leave a comment and be like, I made it to the end, because I really appreciate you watching a heckin' 20-minute video. That's long-form content is dying, and you are one of the last survivors. So thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, go check out the Patreon. It's a cool place. I'll leave like a link down in the description or whatever. And thanks so much. All right, have a great day. Okay, I'll see you later whenever I see you. Okay, see you. Go watch other value videos on. Okay, goodbye.